Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, so let's keep going with question number 41. In the figure, all angles are right angles and the lengths are in feet. What is the perimeter in feet of the figure? Okay, so this is a favorite question. What you have to do here, instead of going like this, obviously, you pretend these are like sticks and that are movable. So you move this stick over here, this one over here, and move this stick over there. That's 10 and 10. And this is a rectangular figure, so that's really all you gotta do. You can move these sticks over here, but you don't really have to. So you see this side is going to be 28, 18 plus 10. And this side is 10 plus 14, that's 24. So the perimeter is going to be 2 times 28 plus 2 times 24. And that ends up being, I think, 104. Okay, so you have to pretend those like movable sticks. Question number 42. Of 896 seniors at certain college, approximately 1/3 are continuing their studies after graduation. So 896, 1/3 of these are continuing after graduation, and approximately 2/5 of those continuing their studies are going to law school. So these are continuing and they're going to various different things, but of these, 2/3 are going to the law school. Which of the following is the best estimate how many seniors are going to law school? So it's going to be this. 896 times 1/3 times 2/3, and if you work this out, I think this ends up being 120. You guys, 119.6 or something like that, and that's 120. So that's the number of students going to law school. 1/3 of them continuing. Of those, 2/3 are going to law school. Okay. Question number 43. Some of the questions I have in my exam booklet are different than over here. Question 43 for me here, it says A is -2, B is 4, C is 7. What is the value of A plus B times C minus A? Like this. That's my question number 42. It's different over here, 43. So in this case, we just substitute A plus B, that's -2 plus 4 times C minus A, which is 7 minus 2. I think that's the only trick here, to be careful. And that's this is 2 times 4, that's 8. That's the question that I have. C7 minus 2, that's 9. 9 times 2 is 18. So that's the answer, but this is a different question here, the way they have it over here. Okay, so let's just do this one too. If A and B are positive integers such that the greatest common factor of A and B, and this is 75, which of the following is a possible value of A? The greatest common factor. So A for B and A squared B cubed. Okay, and both of them have a greatest common factor that is 75. Which of the following is a possible value for A? So what's a common factor is between them is A squared times B. So A has to be A could be 5, right? Okay. Which of the following is a possible value for A? So A could be 5, but because 5 squares this. A cannot be 75 because A squared has to. See, I'm factoring this out. I factor out the A squared and B from these two. Okay, so this has to be this is factorable. So because whatever A is times B has to be like this. So 9 times 9 is 81. Okay, so all of these are out, so I think this is the answer. Okay, and 9, 3 can't be this because it's not divisible by that. So D is the answer there. But anyway, so 44 is the same question now. If 135% of a number is this, what is the 80% of a number? So we're talking about some number x, okay? So 135%, which is this, of x is 405. What is 80% of this number? So let's just solve this for x. X is 405 times 100 over 135 multiplying by the reciprocal. That's x. 80% of x therefore will be 80% of this, which is 80 over 100. Okay, just understanding the meaning of percentages. So 135% of x is this. X is going to be solving for that. 80% of this is this. You solve this, and like that, and you multiply this out. 405 times 80 over 135, and this comes out to be 240. I hope you appreciate that. Okay. What is the distance in the x-coordinate plane between these 2 points? The distance formula is change in x squared plus change in y squared is 2 minus 0 squared plus 0 minus 7 squared. So this is going to be 4 plus 49. That's square root of 53. That's the distance formula. Not to be confused with the midpoint formula for the last time, and not to be confused with anything else. Okay, 46. The radii of circles are this. What's the ratio of two radii of circles? What's the ratio of the circumference? Well, the radius of one circle to the second circle, a ratio of this. Circumference ratio would be 2 pi r, let's just say for the small circle, 2 pi r for the big circle. That's going to be the ratio of their circumferences. Well, the ratio of circumferences for any circle is the same thing as the ratios of their radii. Okay, so the ratios are going to be the same. That's going to be 9/16. This question is similar to if you have two triangles and their sides are the ratio of 9:16, let's just say. Then the ratio of their perimeters, so the sides are 9:16. Okay, the ratio of the perimeters would also be 9:16. Okay, in my example. Ratio of the sides or the ratio of the perimeters, same thing. Ratio of the radii, same thing as the ratio of the circumferences. Okay, the ratios of the areas for these circles will be 9/16. That would be squared. That would be the ratio of the area. So area ratios are squared. Okay, 47. A circle in the standard xy plane is tangent to the x-axis at 4. It's tangent at 4. And it's tangent to the y-axis at 4, like there. So the circle is kind of going like this. See, it's tangent to there and tangent to there, like this. Okay, what is the equation of the circle? Well, you got to know how to write the equation of the circle. X minus vx squared plus y minus vy squared equals r squared. That's the equation of the circle. If you know this, you have to find the center, which is vx vy. Center is going to be right there, see? The center is 4, 4. Okay, the center is 4, 4. Okay? So there's going to be x minus 4 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals, what's the radius here? The radius is right here. That's the radius. Radius is 4. 4 squared is 16. Okay? That is this. D. Got it? So for that question, you have to know how to write. You have to know the equation of the circle. Very popular question. Remember, the radius is squared. For the complex number I squared is -1. How you simplify this? Well, let's see. So this is a nice question. See, it's like a plus b times a plus b, right? That's like a plus b squared thing. That's a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. That's the rule over here. That's it, because you can see it's I plus 1, I plus 1, I minus 1, I minus 1. So anyway, you can do that, or you can FOIL this. However you do this, you have to FOIL this. So let's just FOIL it since it's easy. But if you know how to do this, you can do it this way too. First, I squared. Outer plus I. Inner plus I. Last plus 1. Let's do the bottom one. First, I squared. Outer, negative I. Inner, negative I. Last, 1, like this. Okay? So, Now, this will simplify to I squared plus 2I plus 1. And the bottom is I squared minus 2I plus 1. But then I squared is negative 1. Okay? So I squared is negative 1 plus 2I plus 1. Negative 1 plus 2I plus 1. While these two negative 1's cancel each other out. Negative 1 plus 1 is 0. So 2I over 2I. Minus 2I. Minus 2I. So this, now these i's cancel. 2 divided by negative 2 is negative 1. So the answer is negative 1. Just as a review, so I is square root of negative 1. I squared is negative 1. I cubed is negative I. I4 is your best friend, 1. Because you can only have one best friend. I to the 4th. Okay. Question number 9 for me is different than this one. Which of the following statements describe the total of the first n terms of the sequence? The total of the first n term of a sequence. This is a arithmetic total. Okay? So this is plus 2, okay? And the total is always equal to 25 regardless of n. That doesn't make any sense. Okay. So this is, let me get back to this question because it's not the real question that we have, and get back to this one. That's the arithmetic sequence question, okay? The question that I have is, on Saturday, the art museum ticket office sold 120 adult tickets at $10 a piece, and they sold X number of student tickets at $5 a piece. What's the total expression? This is the answer. That was too easy. Okay, so for a arithmetic sequence, okay, the sum of a certain number of terms is determined by the first term and the last term and the number of total terms. Okay. Okay, first let's review what an arithmetic sequence is. So there are two types of sequences: arithmetic sequence and geometric sequence. Okay, so arithmetic sequence, something is being added all the time. Okay, so like this one, 1, 3, okay, 5, 7, 9. So there's a difference. There's a 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. So to get to the next term for arithmetic sequence, you take the term and then you add the difference. Okay, that's how you do the arithmetic sequence. Okay, and for a geometric sequence, it's being multiplied. Okay, so it's like 2 and then times 4, 8, 16, 32. So here it's times 2, times 2, times 2, times 2. So to get to the term, you take n plus 1. To the n plus 1, you take the term that's before it, okay, and then multiply it by the common ratio. Okay, n plus 1, n plus 1. Okay, that's the arithmetic sequence, geometric sequences. Okay, so which of the following statements describe the total of the first n terms in the sequence? The total is always equal to 25, regardless of n. The total is always 2n. Okay, so in this case, let's say n is 1, n is 2, n is 3, n is 4, right? Okay, so here I think you can add them together. So it's like, let me just, I don't want to confuse you here. What? Okay, I'm going to need a little more room to explain this to you. So I'm going to go over here. Okay, this is what we need to do. So look at this. There's 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, dot, dot, dot. Okay, make sure I got that question. Okay, now, so this is a arithmetic sequence. I just want to take a minute just to appreciate that, because this is a difference, like is 2, as you can see. So this is arithmetic sequence. So what you have to know about the arithmetic sequence is, to get the term that's coming, to get this term, you have to take the term that's n plus 1, you have to take the term and add the difference to it. Okay, that's one thing that you have to know. Okay, the then there's the formula for getting a sub n. Okay, a sub n is going to be the first term. Okay, and then you have to add to it certain number of differences times how many differences. Okay, a difference is, okay, n minus 1 times d. Okay, how many 2's are you going to add, right? For here you can just add 1, right, from here to here. Okay, so you can write this over here. Okay, so there are two ways to get the nth term. Either get it from the term that's before it, or from the first term. Okay, when n is 1, this will turn to be 0. So these are two formulas that you kind of have to know if you really want to understand arithmetic sequence. To get the next term, you can take the term and add the difference, or to get the nth term, you take the first term and add certain number of d's. How many number of d's? N number of d's? No, n minus 1 number of d's, because you don't add n to the first term. So this you have to know. Okay, so now having said this, okay, so a sub n plus 1 equals a sub n plus the difference, common difference, or a sub n equals a sub 1, the first term, plus, and how many times you add the difference? N minus 1 times difference. Okay, then you have to know that the sum of an arithmetic sequence. Now if you remember the principle of mathematics, adding 1, 2, 3 all the way up to 98, 99 and 100 is this, and then how he did that, he added this, added that, right, and add the first term and the last term, and divide by half of the number of terms. So the sum of an arithmetic sequence is, take the first term and take the last term, and you divide it by half the number of terms, like this. Okay, that's the sum of an arithmetic. You take the first term and the last term, and you divide it by half the number of terms. There's 100 over here, it's going to be 50, right? So now in this case, we know what the first term is, see? Okay, the first term is 1, and the nth term for arithmetic sequence, okay, is given by this formula. First term plus n minus 1 times the difference. The difference here in this case is 2. Over the 2. Okay, the n times. So this becomes 1 plus 1, which is 2 plus, and distribute that, 2n minus 2 over 2. So those cancel out. So that becomes 2, and this is just n squared over 2, and this ends up being n squared. Okay, so the answer to this question is this, n squared. Okay, now that's if you all know all the math, and if you appreciate the beauty of that math. If you didn't know all that math, you can just add. Okay, let's see, 1, 3 plus 1 is 4, and then add 5 to that, that's like 9, and add 7 to that, that's 16, and you can see that's like n squared. That's the easy way of doing this, I think. Alright, question number 15. I'll let time for that one question. In a dance school with 35 students, a poll shows that 12 are studying tap dance and 19 are studying ballet. What is the minimum number of students in the school who are studying both tap dance and ballet? So there's, 12 students are studying tap dance, and there are 19 of them studying ballet. So 19 plus 12, that's 21, that's 30, that's total is 31. But there are 35 total students, and then there are 4 other students that could be doing whatever they want to do. Since these two add up to less than the total number of students, they don't have to overlap. Okay, they don't have to overlap at all. So the answer is 0. But let's say there were, for just sake of argument, let's say there were 21 students studying tap dance, and there were 20 students studying that. Now this total is 41, right? How's that going to be? So that's only going to be if there are like 6 students that are doing both. Okay, because that's 35 total students. So, but this question is not. This question is easier than that because 19 plus 12 is less than 35, so there has to be no overlap. 19 students could be doing this and 12 could be doing that. Okay, question number 51. Which of the following is a solution set for all real numbers such as for x, such as x minus 2 is less than x minus 5? Okay, what's the solution? Let's just solve this. To solve this, you could bring the x to the same side and you'll see the x's cancel out. Then you get minus 2 is less than minus 5. Is minus 2 ever less than minus 5? No. So this is a false statement. So there's no solution. Okay? The set of solution is an empty set. In other words, if this is the solution, the set of solution is nothing in it. That's another way of saying, this is another way of saying no solution. The set of solution, empty set, means that there's no solution. Okay. Question number 52 says, the hexagon has 9 diagonals as illustrated. How many diagonals does an octagon have? Well, the way I do is you just draw them out. So you start from one corner, do it systematically. You do it clockwise or counterclockwise, doesn't matter. But just go, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, having done this enough times, as you realize you have to try to be neat here because otherwise you mess up the line. So start from here, right? You did 5. And then go to the next one. Same thing, do clockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's another 5 from there. And then let's do the next one. So start here, go clockwise again. Okay, from here. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. That one's taken. That's 4. And then this one. How about this one? Okay, from here you can't do it. Okay, it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's 3. That's just 3. Okay. All right. Let's do this one. Okay. 1, 2. That's just 2. Okay, but you gotta finish the whole thing because you might have another. Okay, so from here, that's okay. That's 1. Only 1. And then the rest you'll see they're all taken. And that's it. So if you add this up, that's 10, 14, 17, 18, 19, 20. There's no way it's going to be 40. How are we going to get that? Okay. Alrighty now. Diane wants to draw a circle graph, pie graph like this, alright? Showing the favorite teachers of the school. When she polled her classmates, 25% says Mr. Green, 15% said Mr. Brown, 35% said Miss White, and 5% said Miss Black. Okay. And the remaining classes said teachers other than this. Teachers. The teachers other than the green are grouped together in the other sector. So there's going to be one sector that's going to be called other, and includes everybody else, okay? What will be the degree measure of the other sector? Alright, so, okay, so you're going to have to divide this circle up into these percentages, okay? So 25% of the circle is going to be this, 15% of the circle is going to be that, 35% is going to be this, and 5% is going to be that. If you add all of this up, this is 30, 40, 50, 60, 75, 80. That's 80%. So that's 80% of the circle accounted for. So 20% of the circle is going to be, what happened? Alright, so 20% of the circle is going to be other. So 20% of the circle is going to be other. Okay? That's 20% of what? 360 degrees. That's the whole circle. So that's going to be 72 degrees. Okay? 20% of 360 is 72 degrees. So 72 degrees can be other. Question number 54 says, cosine of theta is negative between this and this. What's the tangent of theta? Okay, so you're between between pi and pi over 2 and pi. So you're talking about this area over here. Okay, if you recall in the unit circle, the whole unit circle is 2 pi. From here to here is pi, and this is pi over 2, and this is 3 pi over 2. The same for cosine in this area, okay, is this. Okay, so let's draw this again. So the cosine of theta is negative. So the way to do this is from the unit circle, just draw a triangle out like this. Okay, and so cosine of theta here is adjacent, which is negative, to our hypotenuse. Okay, adjacent to hypotenuse. So what's the tangent of theta? Okay, this is a 5, 12, 13 triangle. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 5, 12, 13, 7, 24, 25, 8, 15, 17, the Pythagorean triplets. So we ask for tangent. Tangent is, this is theta, opposite over adjacent, negative 12. So the tangent is negative 5 over 12, like that. So this is from the unit circle, and you have to, when this negative numbers, and you have to look at where this is. This is between pi over 2 and pi right there. And obviously the x coordinate is negative. You just put the negative over there, and the y coordinate is positive, like that. Question number 55 says, which of the following system of inequalities represents the shaded region in the graph? Okay, so one is a line. Those two lines. Okay, it's a vertical line. This is easy. X is going to be this side, right? So x is going to be greater than or equal to 6. Alright, but most of these are, so just that knocks that one out. So now I have to figure out this line. This line, okay, passes through origin, thank God. So the y-intercept is 0. And the slope is change in y over change in x. So 6 over 2. Change in y over change in x is 1/3. That's the slope. So y equals mx b. B is 0. That's the line. So, but now this is an inequality. So which half of the graph is going to be shaded? Okay, it's this side is going to be shaded, right? So it's going to be greater than. So y is greater than or equal to 1/3 x. That's this graph. And they say and x is greater than or equal to 6. Those are two graphs. Okay, that's over here. This is an or statement, so it won't work. So it has to be and statement. Alright, got that in show. 56. If f of x is this, what's the f of x plus h? Well, if you want to know f of anything, you plug that anything in place of x. So if you want to know f of anything over here, you put that in. So f of x plus h is going to be 1 minus x plus h squared. So you plug that in over there. So that's 1 minus, I'm going to square this, x squared plus 2 times a times b plus b squared, like that. This you have to know, see, a plus b squared is a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. You gotta know that to do it. See, from here to here. 2 times a times b plus b squared. If you're uncomfortable, write this like 100 times away with this and just get it this time. And then, well, we have to distribute the negative 1. And that's that. That is this answer here. Okay. 57. This is a good question. which of the following is the graph in the standard coordinate plane of this? Okay, so you have y equals 3x squared plus 2x over x. Okay, so you can simplify this. So you can factor out an x from the top. You get 3x plus 2, right? Over x. And then you say, oh, wait a minute, I can cancel this out. Right? 3x plus 2. Now we did this. See, but then if you recall somewhere there are certain things called excluded values. In other words, there's excluded values, and you determine the excluded values before you do quadratic chopping. Okay, remember? So for this function, the excluded value is this. X cannot be 0. X cannot be 0. That's an excluded value. Okay? So this expression simplifies into this line, except the domain cannot have 0 in there. So we find this line, which happens to be the first graph here. Y-intercept is 2 up 3 over 2. This is the graph, except as you know, x can't be 0. So there's a hole there. That's it's literally called a hole, actually. There's a hole in the graph. Because the domain cannot be 0, x cannot be 0. So this expression is aligned with the hole in it. This expression, this graph, this function is a graph of a line with the hole in it. That's how you do that. Okay, it's not this one because it's the wrong line. Okay, it's not that one because it's got the wrong y-intercept. And the rest of them are not even lines. You follow? So somebody didn't know what they're doing. They might pick like parabolas or something like that. Okay, so this is asking you if you remember excluded values. And you always determine excluded values before you start quadratic chopping, before you start eliminating stuff. Okay, 58. A triangle ABC, okay, is reflected across the y-axis. So imagine there's a triangle over here and you're reflecting about the y-axis. Okay, let me see. Like this. Okay, you're reflecting it like this. Okay? Such that the image, this is the image. Remember, this is the image and this is the pre-image, the original one called like A, B, C. This is like A prime, B prime, and C prime. Okay, that's the pre-image and that's the image. Okay, isn't the standard for plane? For example, A reflects to A prime. The coordinates of A are VW. That's the coordinates of this point right here, VW. What's the coordinates of A prime? So you're moving it over here, reflecting about the y-axis. Okay, you're going from here to here. So V will become negative V because that's the X value go here, and the Y value will remain the same. That'll be W. So A prime is going to be negative V W, like this. Okay. 59. A is this, B is this. Which of the following expression expresses A in terms of B? In other words, here's A is expressed in terms of C. A is expressed in terms of C. You want to express it in terms of B, then you have to get rid of that C. Well, how are you going to get rid of C? Well, you have to solve this for C and then substitute it in there. Okay, so B equals 3 minus 2C. Alright, so I'm going to solve this for C. Okay, 2C. Okay, I'm going to take that over here and take the B over here. Took that over there, took the B over here, divide by 2. C is going to be minus B plus 3 over 2. Okay, now I'm going to substitute this in place of C. So A is going to be 6 times this whole thing minus B plus 3 over 2 plus 7. Simplify. That's 3. This is gone. So that's minus 3B plus 9 plus 7. Distribute. That's minus 3B plus 16. A is minus 3B plus 16, or 16 minus 3B. Okay. Question number 60 here is different for me than it is also in this picture here. Question number 60 for me, the one that I was given in the handout, says it's an easy question. So so I'll do this. I think this is cos. What is the cosine of this given that this is this cosine of x and y? Okay. So this is the cosine of a difference. Okay, so we want to find the cosine of this. So cosine of 5 pi over 12, okay, is the same as, now 5 pi is this, they're telling us. Cosine of 2 pi over 3 minus pi over, they're doing you a favor here. They're telling you that this is the same thing as this. Now you're supposed to find the cosine of this, you have to find the cosine of this difference, if you remember for algebra 2. Now cosine of two angles like this, the difference here, the formula they give you, is this. So in this case, this is going to be x, this is going to be y. Okay? So cosine of x, cosine of y. So it's going to be cosine of x, which is 2 pi over 3, times cosine of y, which is cosine of pi over 4, plus sine of x, which is 2 pi over 3, times sine of y, which is pi over 4, like this. Okay? That's how you do it. Now then you have to just give you a gift here. You're just giving you stuff over here. So cosine of 2 pi over 4. So here it is. Cosine is negative 1/2. Sorry, cosine of 2/3. Cosine of 2/3 is this. Negative 1/2 times cosine of 1/4 is square root of 2 over 2. Plus sine of 2/3. 2/3 sine is the square root of 3 over 2. Times sine of pi over 4 is square root of 2 over 2. Okay? Now we just have to simplify it, looks like. So it's going to be negative square root of 2 over 4 plus square root of 6 over 4. So that's going to be square root of negative square root of 2 plus square root of 6 over 4. There it is. Okay? So this question is about really how to use this formula more than anything else. Okay, it's the difference. It's the cosine of a difference. And the formula is given to you over here. Cosine of x minus y is cosine of x, cosine of y, and plus sine of x times sine of y. So hopefully that helps. Inshallah, until next time. Assalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. Assalamu alaikum.